But apparently Perry and some other you know, people interested in the same concept of the YouTube community and such, we're still talking about this. And eventually some ideas started cropping up. There's something called Vloggerheads, and they have that that URL registered, and theoretically they're going to do something cool with that. I never heard any further details. Something about community, something. It's really vague. And then eventually, they founded a thing called Vloggerheads. And that was, again, on Ning, and a whole bunch of people joined this time. I don't know how many people, but, you know, there's just all sorts of new videos every day. There's this front page of all the new stuff, and you just, like, you know, come back in a couple hours and, like, several more stuff on there. So, a couple 100,000 people. I don't know. I should... something like that. And several fairly prominent people were there. Renetto was big in that, etc., etc. And there was supposed to be this whole great new community thing that was better than anything we'd seen. There was a talk of verified identity, which was a notion of you could make sure someone is who they say they are, and so they can't, like, register 6 accounts and, you know, they get banned on one and they're okay in all the other 5. And we eventually implemented something like that, but turned out to be somewhat unnecessary because there wasn't a whole lot of people registering several accounts. Not that I remember. Here's the thing. I don't know a whole lot about this stuff. So maybe I'm not particularly entitled to ramble on for, I don't know. But I remember them saying that, like, okay, we put a lot of thought into the verified identity bit. Turns out maybe that's not the heart of it. Maybe that's, you know... and then there's the notion of, well, just managing the community better. You know, if someone gets banned, it should be for a very good reason, you know. People should be properly cordial, polite to each other. But then there was a whole debate about that, too. Like, do we need to be nice? Like, nicey nice? Do we need to... And the verified identity bit, there was like, okay, there's this one guy wearing a mask. Is he allowed to wear a mask? Does that go with identities? That, you know, nah. And then, you know, I put my stuff up on there. I got a few views, a couple times, you know, some really interesting. Someone had something to say, you know, give me a comment. That was cool. So at the time I was quadruple uploading to YouTube, Vidler, Blip.tv, and Vloggerheads. The last one I would just be embedding from YouTube, which apparently made me sort of a second-class citizen. People didn't like that I was embedding off of YouTube. That, you know, I don't know. We want to sever our YouTube ties or something. Nah. And I sort of got behind on these things. And then, just recently, I found this video from Greg Solomon, posted in April. The last time I posted a Vloggerheads was in May. Just getting more and more behind on the things. And Greg Solomon tells us all about a good deal of dishonesty going around, you know. Ill feelings, people getting banned for no reason, or getting allowed to stay for no reason, or people that, frick. And apparently Perry promised that if Vloggerheads ever went south, he would never make a video criticizing it. And Greg Solomon knows this because Perry sent him an email. And since Perry is very aware of Greg Solomon, I'm pretty sure that if, you know, Solomon were lying, Perry would call him out on it. And he hasn't. And he hasn't made any videos recently about how great Vloggerheads is either. So, apparently, things just sort of collapsed. The site's still there. People still video. I'm sure there's some people still enjoy it and such, but Greg Solomon's not there anymore. Perry Urban isn't there anymore. Which tells you something, because he was a founding member. And we go back to YouTube as is, with its various flaws. There are still people that get banned, and you know, we don't know why, and we can't appeal or whatever. That bugs us. But, you know, I guess it says something about how tricky this stuff is. How do we make this E-Nation thing, or even just a secondary YouTube, you know, run by the community? I don't know. Get a whole lot of various people who start off as strangers to each other, generally speaking. Get them all to talk to each other, get them all to cooperate, get them all to work and establish proper guidelines or something, because one person's, you know, healthy criticism is another person's, you know, trolling and hating and everything. So apparently Vloggerheads is dead. That's too bad. But, as Mr. Urban said in his farewell message, which he did not actually indicate was a farewell message, but he sent a message out to people on Vloggerheads and said, you know, it'll all work out in the end. It'll all be okay in the end, I think he said. If it's not okay, it's not the end. I think he's talking about the general idea of the thing. There's still something here, man. See my previous videos on E-Nation and such. Or Whirl'em. Something can happen. And we're floundering about, but, you know, for all the failures thus far, many of us, myself included, still believe in the great potential of online communities. You just gotta keep working on it. Thanks for watching. See you later.